Welcome, everybody. We're so glad that you could join us for our session that's focused on FigJam. If you have used Jamboard in the past or maybe you've heard of it and you haven't tried it out yet, but you know you like the idea of getting people to work together online, Jamie's going to talk to us about a new tool called FigJam, and he's going to show us lots of neat ways that we can collaborate with each other and with our students. I'm going to turn it over to Jamie, and I'll be watching the chat if you all have questions during his presentation. Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. All right, thanks everyone for being here. I'm excited to jump into this. I know having a shiny new thing to play with is always a good thing, just a good way to start the day. Although it's noon, so hopefully you're not starting your day at this point. But if you are, good morning. So I'll go ahead and share my screen, and I'm gonna be sharing directly from the FigJam app. Okay. So kind of the idea of what I want to accomplish today is three things. To understand that what Figma is as a company and how it is divided into two pieces of software. Now, this is important because if you have an EDU license, and I'll get into this a little bit later, but if it's important to know that there are two pieces of software involved with this. There's a Figma, which is the name of the company, and then there's a Figma software and the FigJam whiteboarding software. So, and there's use cases for each one. I just didn't want you to, kind of jump into like a Figma design file and be really overwhelmed with the amount of options and the advanced features available in that. The second is going to be to identify the key functions and the user interface. I feel that the user interface is very simple and intuitive, but I'll kind of highlight the features of that. And then I have a link that I will share in the chat after we kind of get used to where things are and where to find things, that you'll be able to join in to this Jamboard, and we can start the multiplayer, and you can do this without an account. So hopefully everything will function smoothly, and we'll all see what we need to see. And if at any point it feels, I need to give a little disclaimer, because the nature of PowerPoint and the slides moving forth, it's very much a horizontal process, but this is, since we're dealing with kind of an infinite canvas, I apologize if I'm zooming in and out a lot. I'm not trying to confuse you or hurt your eyes, but it's just be aware there might be some, okay, I might have to zoom way out and zoom back in. So there might be some movement there. So for those three things, we'll jump right in. So the getting started, I'll just kind of go through our interface here. I'm using the desktop app, and it will look exactly the same on the if you're using this in a web browser. So Figma is a web-based company, and everything is stored. All your documents are stored in the cloud, much like Google Docs, and so there's really no difference between the web version and the desktop. So we're looking at two toolbars here. In the upper left corner, will be the main menu, and probably the most important thing here is there's something you're trying to do. Even if it's something as quick as learning how to undo, there's a search feature, and that can get you right there where you need to be. So that the quick actions is a really helpful way to get started with this. So there's some built-in tools here, some very cool, just really easy to get started with. There's a timer, and we'll bust that out in a little bit to where when we can do some activities. There's music that you can play, and then there's a voting system where you can have items on the screen, and you can pick a vote for that. So this box here, the templates, this is really one of the major unlocks of FigJam. It's really incredible at the amount of just the content that's ready to go. This has all been highly curated and and selected for use. I mean, so there's nothing here that's, it's just good to kind of search through, because I can't cover all this today, but like with the student and educator templates, there's all kinds of ways of voting systems and how you can think about things and diagram and get ideas for and for your lesson or whatever it is you're using. To the on the right, there's a comment bubble. So if you're not a shortcut person, all the tools that you need are going to be right up here in either one of these toolbars. So there's those four tools. Let me get this is in the way. Okay, there we go. So looking at in the middle is going to be your file name. This is a kind of a file path. So you have your folder that you're looking at, and then there's the title. So you can actually, if you want to, you can click that chevron there, and you can have your options to move the project to another place or anything like that. Over here, this is going to be a lot like the Google Suite features, and how you can share and set the visibility settings. This is me as you join, and just a little bit we'll see your names or initials pop up. I meant to add a profile picture, but anyway. So in the share features, this you'll recognize this from Google Docs. It's the same kind of thing. Anyone with the link can edit or view. With the EDU license, there's a cool feature which I will use today. It's this is an open session, so anyone can. I will share the link in the chat, and then you'll just be able to get on to this document without an account. And then after 24 hours, it will end. So very cool sharing features there. So that's the top toolbar. The bottom toolbar is more of here are the tools that we need to actually get working with this. We have, if you've ever used any Adobe products, it's a pretty standard thing that the select tool will be in the V. You can press V, and that will help you you can actually select things. The hand tool will allow you to move around. And if you also say you're in the select tool and you just want to move around, you can also press the space bar, and that changes. It's almost like the mute feature in Zoom. If you just press the space bar, it changes it to a hand, and then you can navigate from there. So those two things, and then we got the pin tool, and I will get into this. We'll have a chance to use a lot of this in just a little while. It's fairly standard drawing tools. You'll have the ability to set a marker, a highlighter, washi tape, and which I haven't used it before. I have a 7-year-old daughter, and I'm surprised that I haven't used washi tape in the past, but super fun way to just interact and add some more color.
Question?
Yes, sir.
And I'm not playing. I honestly don't know what this tool does. Does it make something that we put online, or is it an interactive? Do we put it on the LMS? What does this tool do? What's it make?
This is I'm going to get right to that. So
okay, then I apologize for interrupting. I'm just
all good. Yeah. So this is a collaborative whiteboard. So let me just make sure I get through all. So yeah. So after the washi tape, we have the sticky notes, which is just you click that and then select your color. Up to the shapes. This is part of the diagramming and flow charting. Adding a text box here. A section. Now, what a section does is it helps you to keep your items organized. So this is for example, the getting started is in a section. So if I want to keep this, I can actually move this entire section from different places. Stamp tool, which is cool. You have actually emojis and stamps that you can place on the canvas. I'll just wave to everyone here. If you can hold down the mouse button and click that. Okay. And then I'm going to get into a little bit more of the stickers, templates, widgets, plugins, a lot of stuff. Okay. So just what are we looking at? What is this, and how is it going to help us in the day-to-day? So as I was saying earlier, Figma is the parent company for two products, Figma and FigJam. The main differences between the two, are just the use cases for each. The Figma is a vector drawing tool. It has it's for graphic designers, web designers, people who are trying to develop mobile applications. Whereas FigJam is a collaborative whiteboard. It's really designed to be a replacement to Jamboard, which Google it's going away, I think, in November. So there's going to be a vacuum created by when that program goes away, and a lot of files that can be brought in. Where FigJam really excels is kind of the simplified interface and the features that it give you. You're not going to have, well, I won't use a lot of terminology, but things like assets and components and variants and all these other things you just don't have to worry about. It's designed to promote logic and the function that you use. So where Figma might have entire design libraries and systems with plugins, we're looking at ready-made templates and stuff that you can get started really quickly. Where they come together and where they really play well is they've really done the collaborative thing, the real-time collaboration thing very well, as well as it works for asynchronous users. So between the commenting and we call a cursor chat, which we'll get into just a little bit, they both really excel at that. So and as you can see now, they're both suitable for presentations. So I'm just kind of taking you through my FigJam board, and I'll zoom out just a little bit, and I'll try to keep the zooming slow so we don't get motion sickness here. But I don't know if you've ever used the double diamond design, but it's important to what we do as educators and designers and thinkers and researchers. Where FigJam really, and I'm not even going to talk about the right side, but where FigJam really excels is in these two states. IBM has a course called Enterprise Design Thinking, where they use these two phrases: fail fast and cheap and restless invention. So if you're looking to get ideas and brainstorm and to understand what the problem is before you try to solve it, this is a chance to really diverge and think about those ideas. And then you come back and you cluster those ideas with sticky notes and try to organize the research that you found in a singular place. So there's, you can do this in Google Docs just fine, but I think it's just the visual delight that this gives it's a big benefit to that. So I won't get too much into this. I hope to do a Figma session later on this year, to where we get into more of the weeds with how to build and prototype. But that means I have to learn it myself first. so that's always fun. Okay, so just one more little thing about what we're looking at and why we can use it. Jamboard was free as a part of the Google Suite, and it was a fairly handy tool to use. FigJam is 100% free. Now, there's no limits, there's no freemium tier. And it goes the same with Figma. So if you can get, if you're able to get an education license verified in a few clicks by signing in with Google, you'll have the full package, which gives you a lot of features, more than you used to keep you busy for a while. You can also keep and use all your stuff. And I've got a section where we can look at this, but you can import and edit all the Jamboard files if you're a user of that. It's fairly easy. It's just a matter of connecting your Google account, and you can bring the Jamboard files directly into your FigJam board, as well as you can bring in CSV files and Google Docs and those kind of things. Okay, just one more note about the account setup. If you are interested in setting up an account, there's a couple of things that you'll need to do. You can set up a free account, no problem. Just sign in with Google and you're good to go. If you would like the education license, there's a couple of things that you need to do. So first of all, this URL will take you to the page that you need to be at. And there's a button that says Get Verified. This will take you to, and if you're interested in using this with your students, just so you're aware and what to expect and what they can expect to see, if on the next page, there'll be some fields that they have to fill out, and these are required. So there's not a really complicated vetting process for this. It's not a scholarship application. It's just if you can say why you're applying classroom engagement or schoolwork. It could be something simple. Our school is not listed here. I couldn't find Blue Ridge Community College, but if you can list your school and list the website, and then the field of study, they'll have to upload a copy of their schedule to it and their to Figma to the form and fill out their graduation date. For teachers and administrators, it's the same kind of questions, except you'll need to upload a copy of your class syllabus and a URL. Again, this is instant. It's all it needs to confirm is that there's a .edu domain as a part of your class progress you're affiliated with a school. Sorry. So it's generally pretty quick to get going, and it's worth it because there are features with the free account that you'll be limited to, such as you can only have 3 projects at a time, and the option to have an open session for 24 hours does not exist with a free plan. So I do recommend getting that getting an account started there. Okay, so
Jamie, can I interrupt you for 1 second?
yeah, actually, I was just going to say, let's ask some questions if we need to.
So I'm trying to set up the teacher or the educator account.
Mhm.
And as you said, Blue Ridge is not listed, but I do not have an option to type in my school. And it's not letting me go past it. It's giving me an error because my school's not in the drop-down list.
Okay. Are you set up as an educator or an administrator?
I clicked educator at the top.
Okay. So there's, you may need to, we can look at that. I'll be happy to stay after a little ways to see if we can troubleshoot that, because I had to type in, there's an option to say the school is not listed, but then there's other fields that come up after that. So I'll be happy to look at that.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah. So for now, I'm going to give you a link that'll help you get in for this. So okay, so let me copy that link and put this in the chat. All right. Well, let's see. Here goes nothing. So in the chat, you'll see a link to this Jamboard, or I keep calling it Jamboard. It's a FigJam board. There's a lot of difference there, right? Okay, so as you click the link, hopefully everyone will be hopping on. You may be able to put in a name if you want to, or you can join anonymously. And we'll get, okay, getting some people on here. We've got Spike. I don't know who Spike is.
I told you Spike was my nickname.
Oh,
No one calls me that, but that's the nickname I've claimed that I keep hoping catches on.
Well, I learned something about you every day, Kevin. I love it. Okay, cool. So we got 4 people on. And that's cool. Jana, you already have a profile picture. Very cool. All right. So I'm going to stop the screen share for now, and we can just get right. Everyone should be right into the board. So I'm going to try something here. If you're like I said before, there's a lot of canvas here that to get lost in if you're not careful. So I'm going to have there's an option called Spotlight Me, and so that is you should get a message that I'll be you can follow me. So wherever I go on the screen, that will help you to kind of follow me where I am. So first, before we get started, on your keyboard, can you press and hold the H key? and then just go and high five with everyone you can, and so everyone can just collide with someone else's cursor, and so I'll say hi. All right. So the first thing we'll do is we're going to get started with a selfie, and to do that, you'll have to turn your Zoom camera off. It's a little tricky, and because the computer can only recognize one input at a time. So if you can turn that selfie off and then hit that red button right in the left corner of the camera, and then there is a queue, so it may take just a minute. So I'm going to set a timer. We'll set this up for, let's say, 4 minutes. We can have more if we need. And it should start spitting out some pictures in just a little bit. Does everyone hear the music? I'm sure we need that. Okay. Yeah, and just put that right into there. So yeah, so since there is an international food tasting, and this is a lunch and learn, and I love food, and food is awesome, we're just going to focus on food completely. So every one of these activities is going to be kind of designed around food. Yeah, so if you're not seeing a camera, if you're not seeing an image, there is a camera button which will show you your available cameras. And if you don't see an image at all, just make sure you turn your Zoom camera off. And I was thinking about pomegranate the other day. I know it's not that unusual, but really it is a kind of a strange food for me. It's such a open it up and there's just this. It looks like it's from outer space. I've always thought that was the neatest food, and it really. What does it taste like? It's somewhat tart. It's sweet. One thing I will mention as we're kind of just continue working. And if you can put your photo into one of the frames here, we can definitely get our space organized. One thing that I did here, there's an extra called an audio recorder, and this is something you can add through the widgets. If you like, for example, if you had this with students, you could have them upload a selfie and how to pronounce their name. So I actually had a voice recording here, which you can play. And it will. You should play. Hello, my name is Jamie Warren, and I am thrilled to be with you here today. Okay, yeah. So this is a widget that you can add from this plus button. It's called the audio. Yeah, voice memo, that's what it's called. So you can just drag that right on there. And so for example, Sarah, if you wanted to add that widget, and you can click the record button to record your voice. Yeah, and I was about to put gator. I've had gator, and it was really delicious. All right, we're jamming. I like this. Look at all this movement.
Amy, can you tell me one more time how to do the recording?
Oh, the audio recording. Yeah. So you go down to let me stop the timer here. I didn't really plan to do this. I kind of found out at the last minute. So if you go down to the bottom toolbar, and you hit the plus on the side, there's you'll see a menu of tabs that says all stickers. If you just type in voice memo, and it'll bring up some stickers or templates. But if you scroll down to widgets, you can just drag that widget directly onto the board. And then it's just a matter of you have some ability, so you can change the visibility of it if you want to hide the title or expand. Yeah. So if you double click the rectangles, and that will help you get you can type right into them there. Okay.
Jamie, would you mind sharing your screen for just a minute so that it's part of the recording? Because otherwise we're not going to see evidence of all the great work that's happened since.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. Dan, I saw your chat. Your photo is good to go. I can see you right there. Yeah, and there's just a lot of use cases for this. I know students with they always love to show their face when they can. Maybe not. If there's always an option for them not to do it if they want to record something. But this is the whole idea behind this is to really amplify their voice. I was pretty shy as a kid in school, and I didn't a lot of times I didn't want to speak up in class. So something like this would have been really helpful to help me to express myself and help have my voice heard. So if there's there should be a pedagogical reason for this, and so I'm going to. I'm going to get a quick screenshot of you, Dan. All right. Okay. So, okay to stop sharing, Sarah. I'm going to move on.
Yeah, I think we are seeing a lot here. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, I'm going to move on down. If you want to, the following is not, it's not required. It's just something if you need to try to find me, and then you might need to make a decision with your students if you want them to follow you the whole time, or if you just want them to keep working while you move on. That's something that can be kind of customized to where we are. So, with those stickies, the rectangles here, I kind of had these pre-built. But let me show you kind of the options here. So you have some options in terms of how they appear on the screen to change the shape of them. You can feel free to change the color if you want to do something else with that. The line thickness, this I've looked into. This must be maybe a feature that's not quite completely released yet, but really the only choices you have are just a solid and a dashed line. I know it looks like there are thicknesses here, but that's not an option for the rectangles. Like I was saying earlier, the fonts or the feature set is pretty limited. You only have 4 fonts, which I think provide a pretty good variety. I can do what I need to do. The fonts, I actually like this a lot better than trying to establish, well, should this be 81 font or 73 font? It's sort of that, okay, here's large, extra large, huge. So it's just some quality added there. And you got the bold, strike through. You can create a link, bullets, and alignment. So kind of the standard formatting stuff. I mean, let's move on. I think that we just about got our answers here. So I'll move on down to let's see. Yeah. I like that. Pizza. So on down to the sticky notes. So the sticky notes are really part of that diverging process of how you can organize information. So if you if you use the sticky notes, you can press S on your keyboard, or at the bottom of the screen, you can select the tool to put. So let's take another, let's make it 5 minutes this time. And so just think of your favorite recipe, anything you cook, even if it's a glass of water, anything that you do in the kitchen. Let's get it started. And we don't need specific measurements, just kind of throw stuff in a bowl and oh, and I will mention one thing with the stickies. There might be a request for that the student wants to be anonymous. They want to submit this anonymously without their name showing. They have that option. So in your sticky note, if you click your note on the right side, there'll be a quill looking thing that you click that and it will hide your name. So, and I can actually do that for other people. But if you don't want your name, if the student wants to be anonymous, that's how you can hide their identity there. So I know the name is still hovering over the cursor. So this might be if you want to set up a separate space that the student can write and then drag their stuff over, or there's a lot of strategies.
Jamie, I have a quick question. If everybody's sticky notes are, some are big and some are small and some are keeping tiny letters and some are, how do you ensure that they're all writing so that I can read the other sticky notes?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. So it really is up to the student to try to determine how much they're writing and how big it is. There's as far as setting the font and the size, it's really going to be up to the user just to. So and I can make small adjustments, but there's no way to lock them into a particular font or size. Does that answer your question, Joy?
Yes, it does.
Okay, thanks. I love it. Peas plus soup. I'm gonna have to try that, Dan. That sounds delicious. All right, that's a lot of stuff. So, Jana, what's your secret to mashed potatoes? I guess that's the family secret.
Sorry, a little technical difficulty. My grandmother always made them, and I never could make mine as good as hers. And then one time I watched her, and she leaves water in the bottom of the pot and doesn't drain it all. And they're amazing. There's the secret.
That's interesting. I bet the starches from the water make it all really super thicky and thick and creamy. Maybe part of it, yeah. Love it. Kraft mac and cheese. All right. I think we're pretty much there. Does everyone have what they need? Dan, you're gonna have to send me that recipe. I'm gonna try that when I get home. Just take a bunch of peas and throw them in soup. That's gonna be it. Sounds great. In fact, I'm gonna put a stamp on that one. All right. All right, about 45 more seconds.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Down here, I see like some smiley faces and a camera and stuff that takes you to the widgets and stickers and things. Is there a way to lock that if you don't want students just like plastering emojis all over your FigJam board?
So yeah, a lot of this is it really is just an open playground. What I've read on some of the strategies is that you can have some kind of a community agreement of where you want either destroy someone else's work or but by and large it's just one big playground, and it's not a whole lot of control we have over what students do. So okay, so that was 5 minutes. Good deal. Okay, any questions with the sticky notes? It's kind of the de facto, it's a standard of any whiteboard. You got to have sticky notes, so that was a good place to start. I'm going to move on down into the commenting feature. I was talking about a cursor chat. Now you can a lot of ways to interact with the board, and a lot of depth, a lot of layers, but the commenting feature is probably the most similar to Jamboard and Google Docs, and that you can at the top in the top toolbar you can actually click the chat bubble to add a comment. So you just click on the map of the world there and put and where would you, what country would you visit just for the food? Feel free to zoom in and
Sorry, it's making me sign in, so just be a second.
okay. Oops. Yeah, I will say one of the features that's available is to I know it's really easy to move the graphic around, and I should have done this beforehand. Let me put that back right where it was. Let me go ahead and lock this. So that will make it. So sorry about that. I meant to do that. So that's maybe something to as part of the preparation is if you have, that's one thing that you can control is your layout and the assets that you have on the screen. You can, if you click an item, right click, you can actually lock that. So where students can't, they may be able to place something on top of it, but they can't move it around. Yeah, authentic Italian, absolutely. And so the way the commenting kind of works into the rest of it is, so it works in the way that that Google Docs does, in that if you're seeing, if you click a comment, you can see who made it, and you have some options as to mark as unread. You can copy the link, or you can actually resolve the comment, and it will take it away. So you can add a so Sarah, I really agree with what you're saying there. I'm gonna give an emoji there. Say would love to eat some authentic Italian. I agree, and I'll even reply. I think it's called what, barbacoa in South America. I think that's the name of the well, that's one name for it. It's a really delicious meat grilled over an open flame. Yeah, so now that you can see, I have replied to Sarah, and other students can do that too. Never tikka masala from a jar, Sarah. Never, never, never.
I tried it once. I will confess.
Oh, maybe in a pinch, but it would just, it can never capture that creamy, buttery, tart tomato flavor from an Indian restaurant. I think that's my favorite food of all time. Okay. Yeah. So I've got about 20 minutes left, and I want to keep make sure we get to the end here. So and leave time for questions. So as you can see, it does organize things based on the amount of information in a thread, and by zooming over, you can see how things are, what conversations, maybe where the heat maps are. A lot of people are focusing on one comment, replying to that, or creating their own. So it creates this community throughout. So I want to go ahead and move on and talk a little bit about the pen and highlighter tool. I probably don't need a whole lot of explanation. I mean, but this is a chance to really dive deeper into what you're talking about. So for something like this, I would I've got lyrics to 2 songs. And so if I were to ask, just take the highlighter and highlight all the nouns, or in this case, you might want to highlight all the uses of vegetables or fruits in there. So highlight maybe all the fruits, but just so they can get familiar with how you can use the highlighter tool. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and grab the pen tool and draw your perfect food truck.
Jamie, at some point, would you mind sharing your screen again to capture, because our recording isn't correct getting that.
Yeah, so kind of a balancing act, isn't it?
A little bit. And I don't want to mess people's screens up for too long, but
Mhm. Yeah, let me go ahead and set a timer here. Maybe let's go 4 minutes. Oh, and since we're on the pen tool, I'll go ahead and so with the washi tape, and you have some options here as to the patterns, but you can also add your own. So if we have so Dan, I actually took your screenshot earlier, and so you're going to get your own custom washi tape. So I'm going to put that out there. So as I scroll in, there's Dan and his own tape. So that can be one of those things where he if you have like, I don't know, historical figures, there's a lot of, it's just a lot of customization that you can use with this, and trying to make it relevant and custom to the lesson that you're trying to teach. Okay, cool. All right, got some minimal designs here. I like this. Let's give them maybe another minute and a half, two and a half minutes. Monster food truck. I like it.
I was told a long time ago, if you can't draw well, draw badly, and know that you're modeling confidence for your students.
That's a big part of it. Yep.
If you can't draw well, learn to play the guitar.
I'm working on it, Dan.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife Joy is on the call. She's the BRC Small Business Center. She is a spectacular artist. She's so I have a feeling her drawing is just going to blow ours away.
She's gonna win.
I like what you're doing, Spike. That's a really neat idea. You're actually drawing the truck with shapes. That's very creative. All right, about one more minute.
That shape there. So Jamie, I would point out that I just discovered a little toolbar on the right-hand side that lets me zoom in and zoom out, which I didn't know I could do.
Okay, yeah, the on at the bottom.
Yeah, just above the question mark is a
Mhm.
little box that lets me zoom in and see, like, if I wanted to get closer to, say, that picture thing that you did of Spike. Was that Spike? It's
That's
gone now.
true. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. And I was going to mention something that's to this effect in the beginning, where at first I had a hard time really orienting myself, and I realized that I was kind of stuck around 17 to 20%, and it was actually a little easier when I moved up to 50% and to zoom in. So thanks for pointing that out. So I'm using the control and the mouse wheel to zoom out, but that's a really good feature. I forgot to mention that. Yeah. Okay. So we got some interaction here. This is good. A lot of creativity happening. Yeah. So really no this could be really purposed for just about any discipline. If you're trying to check knowledge or just getting ideas for this. So let's go ahead and move on. I got about 12 minutes left, and we'll leave some time for questions. So talking about images and GIFs. I don't know if anyone else calls it GIFs, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's graphical interchange format. So if you can hear someone say GIF, you can politely tell them that please pronounce it correctly. So in these GIFs below you, it's kind of you'll have to click play to see how those work, or it's a little hard to see. Up there's a rainbow box up there that you can actually click into and search for your own GIF. So if you place down, as I was saying earlier, in the bottom toolbar, there's a stamp button, or you can press E, and you can just kind of put a thumbs up or a reaction on which one of these, which is your cooking style, what's your personality in the kitchen. I personally find myself sort of moving from Homer down to the guys shopping rapidly, and sometimes I just find myself just taking some spatulas and beating on things. So I guess we all have our own way of doing this. Yeah, in my dreams, I like that. I know, and I don't even know if that's real. I imagine someone has the mental capacity to use two pots and pans at one time. That is not me.
Jamie, I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. I actually don't know where to get the GIF.
Oh, okay. So in the instructions, and I wish I could make it bigger, but it just kind of comes on that. So there's a search Giphy option.
Okay.
So if you click that search Giphy, a little box will pop up to where you have the Giphy search. It's what you put in your terms, and then you have an option for stickers and then GIFs at the bottom. So you can search for it.
Sorry, I'm moving it.
That's okay. I should have locked this down before. I know it's easy to do, so that was on me. Yeah.
Will a search bar pop up? Because all I get is red, blue, green, and rainbow.
So move this around here. Let me guess. Yeah, sorry to get rid of your thumbs up here. So if you start clicking in the search Giphy and with the arrow.
Okay.
Jamie, yesterday when we were playing with this, I had to add my own widget to do a search. I couldn't use your widget.
Oh,
So,
that's okay.
so Joy, if you go down to the plus sign by the
Plus sign.
camera icon and grab a Giphy, it should come up as one of your first options.
Yeah.
It's like a rainbow and it says search Giphy Figma. It's like the third or fourth one down, probably.
Yeah, just type in GIF, scroll down, and it should be there. Yeah. And the same would work for images. You can bring in your own images, and you can the images really function in the same way as a shape does, where you can actually diagram them and make them part of a process, or you can start to you can use them as you would build any other lesson. So it's generally pretty seamless with a lot of different types of image formats, and for the most part, these all came from the Giphy website that I just dragged them straight in. There are some. You can search for, there's some GIFs here, but GIFs, said it wrong. There are some GIFs here, so that you can search for. So, all right. So looking down at the multimedia section, so this is one of the things that I'd never used this in Jamboard, and I wasn't sure if that was an option. But the fact that you can bring in external content, I think is just such a huge value add for this particular program. It's what some people on they call one tab learning, where you really do anything you need in this Jam in this board here. So if for Google Sites, when you post a link and it doesn't just show up as text, it will show you as a card in which you can actually go and view the presentation. So if I hit the expand button, I'm still sharing, right? Okay. Yes. So it will. I'm actually in the document now, and I don't have to leave to go to another tab or another internet browser. So I can go through and see the presentation, see the content. Google Docs works similarly, but you have to. And I think it's the same way with the sharing settings. If you post, if you have a Google Doc set to private, then it will just post a link here. Now, I've created another one with anyone who has the link can access it, and you can see that work just fine there. So just keep in mind, just posting a link here does not share that Google document. It just puts a link here, and then you have to establish your own sharing settings here. In the document itself. YouTube, one thing I really like about this is that it will embed the video directly into the FigJam, and so I can actually hit play. And if I had a,
what is the use of fighting for
so you should be hearing that through your speakers, and then you get a chance to really give your thoughts on that YouTube video and kind of come together. And this would work. Again, this works asynchronously. Spotify, one of my favorite things. I've got two things that I've been listening to: the Dune 2 soundtrack and Jacob Collier's Jesse Volume 4. Those are two of my favorite songs right now. So actually the entire albums. So I should not have, I forgot to I copied and pasted my text there. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, so there's I just go into my Spotify account and shared a link and posted it right there. So good way to get a playlist going and maybe some other thoughts from other people. Google Sheets. Now this was an older document that we did. I just copied a few cells and just paste them right in there. So we can see that you actually have an ability to edit these. So these cells came directly from Google Sheets. So you can you have a chance to format each cell. visibility wise, I mean, you'll need to, if you want to do more calculations or formulas, you'll need to take them out from there, because you're not going to have the entire interface here, but it's a good way to just visualize some data in a table. And it's super easy for those quick checks. And any questions on the sharing on the multimedia part? Okay. All right, got two more things to show you. One is probably the biggest one. So I want to try this here. So what we do, I have a process of cooking, and what we can do, I want to try the connectors. So if we can put this in order as to what process goes where, this might be something I want to do beforehand. So I was trying to just think of the best way to go about this. So if you're planning in preparation, and then you prep the ingredients. So there's the cooking, and then the finishing touches. So the point of this is not so much to put these in the correct order, but to demonstrate the diagramming in the flow tool. So if you were to go down to your shapes tool, in the bottom, you'll see a square, a circle, and a triangle, and an arrow. You can click that arrow or press X on your keyboard. And this is not something I would necessarily have students do. I would do this before, but to know that how things connect. So I can draw an arrow directly to the next thing, and no matter where I move that, it will be a part of it. And so you can see the arrow will point to the next one. You can change the color, and in this case, you actually do have an option for a thicker line. So that's neat. And do the same with the next one. You can either press X to create a connector, or if you're zooming in, you'll see an arrow on the outer corners of it. You'll see an arrow which will create a new step in the process, or you can just connect it directly to one right there. So really good for flow charting and diagramming. I've been using this quite a bit with one of our accounting teachers, and we're working out some case scenarios to where the problem he was having was the book would just basically say, hey, give us a wall of text based on your thoughts on this. And he was getting various results, including some AI generated results. And we were trying to strategize as to how we are going to, and since I'm sharing my screen, I will go ahead and jump to that real quick. So this is the scenario. Can everyone see this scenario that we have?
We can, and just so you know, we've got about 1 minute left. So
yeah, okay, yeah. So with this kind of this logic based scenario, this is how we were able to collaborate and put all this together. So in this case, there's a dialogue that happens that between two people, and then a third person would comes in, and they'll ask a question, and then we can then decide, let the student, user, whatever, kind of make their own choices, and it can there will be consequences of those choices. So it's an ability to really put nuance into your teaching and to how you build your lessons. So and so I encourage you just to play with this. I mean, really, I'm curious as to how you would interact with it, how you would break it, how you would not use it. But just to know that this is an extremely dynamic tool, and the fact that it's free is a really, really big benefit to us. The last thing is just, if there is some delight in all this, to where if you wanted to engage through the play, if you look through the widgets, you can have you can set up those. So such as you can set up a tic-tac-toe board, or set up a Connect 4. There's chess, and there's flip a coins or a spinner. So I could actually have the people on this call you could set up a spinner there. So anyway, that I want to go ahead and stop following and stop the share. and this this document should be available for until sometime tomorrow. If you want to check this link, if you need help setting up an EDU account, I'll be happy to help where I can. If there's any questions, I know I talked a little long, but happy to stay and answer any questions if we need to. So anyway, thanks again. Feel free to ask any questions or stop by the Teaching and Learning Center sometime.